The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill, a breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help, just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Schaap. You may know me from ESPN's Outside the Lines and Sports Center. What you probably don't know is that I've suffered from Crohn's disease for almost 20 years. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America's Take Steps, Be Heard walk program is the largest national walk program dedicated to raising funds and awareness to combat Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. To learn more about how you can help and to find a walk site near you, please visit www.cctakesteps.org.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hi, I'm Hillary Duff. As a mom, I'm proud to support the March of Dimes in helping more women have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. That's why I walk in March for Babies. The money we raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org. Together, we can help make healthier babies possible for thousands of families.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire. It's Rod Eccles.
And a good Wednesday, hump day morning to you, one and all of you liberty lovers and ecclesiastites. It is good to see you. Well, I can't see you, but radio speaking. Good old radio speak. Yes, indeed, we are here live on this Wednesday, January 21 in the year of our Lord 2017. That means it's also the first day of summer. And the first day of, well, it's not their first day, but their last day of all this anguish until 2018. Yes, the Democrats, they dropped another bomb last night. They just bombed out. And what are they, 0 for 4, 0 for 5, something like that in special elections? 0 for 5 if you count South Carolina. They didn't win there either. And so we'll get into that in just a minute. Call-in number this morning is 603-835-3226 here on this. I think it's clearing up. They're expecting rain today up here in northern New England. Beautiful day yesterday. Sun was out, shining bright. Not too hot, not too cool, not too muggy, just around near paradise levels. It could have been a little bit more perfect, but... Hey, look, at least it's not like it's out there in, Phoenix? 118 degrees expected today? I know. It's dry heat. Yeah, that's a bunch of BS. That's still just freaking hot. I don't care if it's dry. Well, it's a good thing it isn't muggy. But, again, they're out there suggesting that people... they're canceling, they're not canceling major airline flights, but charter flights and smaller flights are being canceled because they say it's too hot. And aircraft, I guess, the smaller ones for takeoff can't seem to get enough lift. I don't know what the real reason is out there. It doesn't make any sense to me. But it's too hot to fly, evidently, or it's too hot to take off for some small aircraft. So some smaller airlines are... the jump jets, the commuter stuff, I guess, is being canceled were canceled yesterday. They may be canceled again today because it's too hot. Now, maybe it's just because it's too hot for the outside crew to be working. That could be it. I'll accept that. Don't tell me it's too hot for an airplane to take off. That's just dumb. But it may be too hot for the crews to be working outside and to fueling the planes and things like that. I might go for that, but it's the desert, for crying out loud. So I guess they're expecting a high today of around 118 degrees and somewhere around 125 degrees in Death Valley. Oh my goodness, Death Valley, a real true desert, gets hot. Go figure. Next thing we're gonna hear is that environmentalist wackos who believe in global warming are going to get all upset because the Sahara Desert gets up to 125. It's a freaking desert. But anyway, that's what's happening. The first day of summer, and by the way, it's summertime now, so it gets hot down there in the summer. That's what usually happens in the summer. That's why they call it summer, because it's warmer than winter all over the world. Now, granted, you go south of the equator, it's now winter time. It's northern hemisphere's or summertime. So it's going to be warmer up here, and down there they're going to be going through their cool periods. It's going to be cooler. Now they're not going to get a lot of snow because the way the Earth's axis is tilted, they still get warmer winters than we do. I know it's not fair, but except at the South Pole. The South Pole is still cold. Let me give you some. I'll give you a future forecast for tomorrow at the South Pole. Cold. So that it's winter at South Pole now, so it's going to be really cold. You better take an extra blanket or put on an extra thick parka. Just saying. That's what happens. It gets cold down there and it gets warm up here, and then it gets cold up here and it gets warmer down there. So it's just a regular cycle of the climate here on the planet. It still hasn't changed. It hasn't changed that drastically. We just thought you'd like to know. See, I can predict the future. Tomorrow in South Pole, cold. Mark that down. I predicted it. Mark it down. I predicted it. You got it. By the way, we have the intel report is coming up this morning as well with Agent 007. And, I'm in this, I wouldn't even call it a Twitter spat or a Twitter war, because in order for me to call it a Twitter war, and I've had Twitter wars before, but in order for me to call this a Twitter war, you have to have the so-called quote-unquote enemy has to have some mental capacity or intellect. They're devoid of any. So it's more like a parent that has to keep smacking a child. That's the way I feel at the moment with these two idiots that decided to take. I don't know how I got dragged into the argument. Well, yes, I do. So somebody, they tagged me into the argument, and next thing I know, I mean, I had said nothing. The next thing I know, they're attacking me. They're like, oh well. And then I get involved. The first time I respond, they go, well, why are you responding? This doesn't concern you. I have to point to the fact that they were attacking me in directly. They don't even know who I am. They're not even following me. And they're attacking me. And then if I get involved, then all of a sudden it's not my business. No, that's not the way it works. Sorry. So I continually have to spank them. I find it amazing that they think Hillary Clinton is irrelevant. That's their argument. Well, Donald Trump is under investigation. No, Comey said Donald Trump was never under investigation, so there you're wrong. And what about Hillary Clinton? We know she actually did something illegal. Well, Hillary Clinton is now irrelevant. Well, yeah, she's so irrelevant that they now are going to investigate to see if maybe her security clearances should be pulled. I didn't know that she still had security clearances. Anybody else know that? How the hell would they have security clearances, anybody, if they're not in the government? She doesn't hold any position. Why did she even still have security clearances? I don't know. It doesn't make... What? So she can hand some more stuff over to Putin and blame Trump, I guess? I have no idea. But anyway, the State Department is going to review that. And how do you... If her security clearance is revoked, Well, does that mean she can't be president? I mean, what if she runs again in 2020? I'm just shooting it out there, just throwing it out there. Can you have a president that doesn't have a security? The president's the only one he's got the biggest, baddest security clearance in the entire country. Well, can somebody who's had their security clearance revoked get it back as president? I mean, it's a legal process, I guess. So I'm just wondering. Just wondering out loud on that one. I mean, we'll have to ask Agent 0010 how that all works. But I guess evidently she is relevant. You know, they will do anything to sidestep their own misdeed. I've said this time and time again, folks. Whenever the left, especially now, I mean, it didn't used to be this way. Let's be honest, it didn't. But of late, it's ever since Obama was elected, and really, it is Obama. I mean, you can say, well, no, Rod, it was Clinton. No. It really didn't start with Clinton. Sure, they circled the wagons around Clinton when, during that Monica Lewinsky fiasco stuff, but they really weren't doing things or saying things to cover their own tracks back then and putting the finger on Republicans for what they were doing. Sure, some of that stuff has always been going on, and it really didn't matter which party you're in. There are people in both parties who would do stuff like that, but it really didn't become a party mantra or platform until Obama was elected. Then all of a sudden, everything that they started to do, it was the Republicans that were doing it. They were trying to take the focus off themselves and Barack Hussein Obama so people wouldn't see what he was doing. And the press lapped it up. They ate that crap up. And so now we're at the point that every single time you see or hear a Democrat point the finger at another Republican, you gotta automatically think they're doing it. So, and this is now dribbled down into their support ranks. The wonderful people that will support him no matter what. And I'm seeing this constantly. Well, Trump's under investigation, but Trump's not under investigation. Comey said he wasn't. How many times is your man Comey got to tell you that Trump was not under investigation before you finally believe it? Well, the reason is because they need Trump to be under investigation because all of the people that they supported were the ones doing all the stuff they're accusing Trump of doing. It's starting to come to light, and even the lamestream media is having a hard time hiding it. Now there's talk of congressional investigations into Loretta Lynch's obstruction of justice. What did I tell you? Didn't we just hear that now Trump is going to be under investigation by Mueller for obstruction of justice? There is no such thing. In this type of matter, the president cannot be accused of obstruction of justice because he's the CEO of the executive branch. He can fire whoever he damn well wants. Loretta Lynch, on the other hand, well, she wasn't the CEO. She was the vice president of the Justice Department, basically. Secretary, vice president, basically, in a corporation. Well, she could obstruct justice, and Comey let the cat out of the bag during his testimony, and the Democrats were sitting there with their hands over their ears. Everybody else was going, "Oh, did he just say what I think he said?" Yes, he said it. He said it. So could there be, it looks like there may be at least a congressional investigation. It looks like Mueller may have to turn his attention on Lynch for obstruction. See what, I told you, whenever they point the finger at us, they've got three fingers pointing back at them because they're trying to hide what they're doing. I mean, this stuff is just amazing. Yeah, sometimes I even marvel at myself how right I am. I just said, but Rod, man, you were so right. That is just wondrous. How do you do it? Well, it's simple. I pay attention to logic. I believe in logic. and I just listen to what God tells me.
You're listening to me, your lovable host, Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
And now a message from our sponsor. Ladies, tired of drying your hair with the same old vacuum cleaner? Try Avon Shea brand new Beauty Locks portable hair dryer. It's smaller, it's faster, it's guaranteed to give you the hair you've always wanted in half the time. Beauty Locks is delicate and dainty, just like you. The dryer weighs only a pound and easily fits in your hand. Now that's beauty and convenience. With a speedy motor that will dry your hair in as little as 25 minutes, you can get gorgeous hair without falling behind schedule. Don't worry about the little ones or that pie in the oven. Thanks to an extra-long extension cord, you can move around well, primping your locks. Forget those long trips to the salon and no more waiting for hours under monster machines. Avon Shea gives you an easy and speedy hairdo that will blow your man away. Get it now at your nearest Macy's.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show. Let truth be told.
(603-835-3226). That is the wondrous number to call in should you wish to do so. Especially if you're still looking for... I haven't had a good on-the-air conversation with a true liberal in quite some time now. They used to call in regularly. In fact, I remember when I was broadcasting on Blog Talk Radio, I had one that'd call in at least once a week. And he was halfway decent, actually. He wasn't. There were times when he would actually, come to terms and realize, well, I was right. So maybe he wasn't a real liberals. He wasn't a liberals liberal, but he was still a Democrat. But any case, yesterday I was remiss. Today I shall not be remiss. The list of today. There is a plethora of holidays today, folks. There is a plethora of holidays. Today is Atheist Solidarity Day. Yes, holidays for June 21. Today is Atheist Solidarity Day. Hey, you don't believe in anything, so you got to have a holiday to believe in. Do you know what the whole purpose of holiday is? Holy Day. How can you be holy if you're an atheist. You don't believe in anything. Okay, so it's Atheist Solidarity Day. So all the atheists are going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya. Wait, isn't that a religious song too? Baby Boomers Recognition Day. Well, the me generation's parents, who is the me generation, is recognizing themselves today. Great. Well, I'm not a baby boomer, so I can trash baby boomers. Today is also Cuckoo Warning Day. I did not find any information on that, so I have no idea what that. It's a cuckoo clock. Cuckoo clocks scare people sometimes when they come up. Cuckoo, just out of the blue. Well, it's every hour, or however you could program. My mother used to have one. My dad bought her one when we were in Greece, stationed in Greece, and he went to Germany, and he came back with a real Black Forest made in the Black Forest of Germany cuckoo clock, Bavaria, basically. Real, genuine, and that thing he had that thing programming to go off every 15 minutes. And then it wore on us. And then I guess he did it so often, he had it programmed so often that it actually got to a point where it literally got sick. Every hour it would go, cuckoo, cuckoo. Yeah. So when we left Greece, my dad sold it. Yeah, that's what he gets for trying to play a joke on my mom. But anyway, today is also National Daylight Appreciation Day. Well, it is the longest day of the year here in the northern hemisphere. So it's the first day of summer. Longest day. The most daylight they're going to get is now. Now the days are going to get shorter. I mean, that's the only problem with summer. It just days start getting shorter. Today is also Go Skateboarding Day, but not to be outdone, it is also International Surfing Day. So if you can't get to the beach in water to surf, you can still get to your skate park to go skateboarding. It is also International Day of Yoga. I thought every day was International Day of Yoga, but today is the International Day of Yoga. And here's a new one. Today is also National Selfie Day. Might I suggest that nobody honor this day? Really. Today is also National Peaches and Cream Day. It is National Seashell Day to go along with National Surfing and the longest National Daylight Appreciation Day. Of course, it's also the first day of summer, which goes well with National Seashell Day. It's also World Giraffe Day, World Handshake Day, World Humanist Day. I guess it goes along with World Atheist Solidarity Day, so it's also Humanist Day. It is also World Music Day. And it is also World Peace and Prayer Day. World Peace and Prayer Day on National or Atheist Solidarity Day, and also World Humanist Day. Well, I guess humanists can also be peaceful. It is also Anne and Samantha Day. Now, I had no idea what that is. There is some information on that. Anne and Samantha Day is celebrated biannually on the summer and winter solstice. It honors Anne Frank and Samantha Smith. Now, we all know who Anne Frank is, but I didn't know who Samantha Smith was. She's the daughter of an instructor of college literature and a social worker. Samantha Smith was born on June 29th. In 1972, she was 10 years old. She sought to understand the Cold War between the United States and Russia by writing a letter to the Soviet Union leader Yuri Andropov of the day. And so I guess because she wrote a letter to the world wannabe dictator of the time, she shares the day with Anne Frank. There you go. Today's holidays, folks. If you want to know more about Anne Smith, I will post the link over on the Facebook and Twitter pages, and the website. I don't know anything more about Anne Smith. Sorry, not that I think I remember something vaguely about that. It's back in the 80s, early 80s. That was before Gorbachev, right? Yeah. See, It's all, yeah, I think, yeah, she wrote a letter and said that, maybe that he should be nicer or something. It's all coming back to me now, yeah. So, yeah, she deserves it. She deserves her own day. Yeah.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. the families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
603-835-3226. That is a number that you can utilize to call into the program. So the Democrats are basically 0-5. To put it in a more positive perspective, the Trump and the Republicans are, well, I shouldn't even say Republicans. Trump and the American people are 5-0. Yeah, in these special elections. Now, if you do recall, I do remember, when Trump was naming his cabinet picks, I was a little worried and concerned because he was naming a lot of decent Republicans that were already elected in the House and such, and Senate. And I said, well, he keeps taking them from, it could be the point where, he takes enough where the Democrats can get a hold of some of these seats. At the time, I didn't realize the magnitude. Even I didn't realize the magnitude of the Make America Great Again movement. And the first couple elections, the Democrats did have a right to say, well, this is, a referendum. Do Republicans still have the guts and the gall and the balls and all that kind of stuff now that Trump's elected? And yeah, it was resoundingly, the answer was resoundingly yes. And so this Georgia thing came up because you knew that Ossoff was going to lose. How did you know? Because they started back. Because they kept saying leading up to this to the actual special election runoff election. They kept saying that, this was a referendum on Trump. Now, first of all, what I didn't understand was, and the press ran, the lamestream media ran with this. What I didn't understand was, how the hell could one small Georgia district represent the mood of the entire nation? Especially since, they were 0-3 going into this one. In 3 different states. Remember Montana? Montana was going to be, Montana was, and then all of a sudden, Montana was going to be it, and then it was a referendum on Trump, and then all of a sudden they realized that their guy was going to lose and lose big, and he did. And so they started to spin it before the election even took place. Well, it just goes to show that if this guy doesn't, if the Democrat doesn't get beat by at least 5 points, that means they started spinning it to make a loss look like a win for them. And they did it in Georgia. Ossoff didn't, he got the nomination for the Democrats pretty handedly. And they were trying to compare his win to the Republican win, and when there were a ton more Republicans vying for votes, and there were Democrats vying for votes. And they just, look at all the big margin that he won by, and Handel only won by a very small margin, and blah, blah, blah. This is going to be a bloodbath, he's going to walk away with it. The guy loses by 5 points. Now, granted, he should have lost by more than 5 points, but if you actually take a look at the national numbers, he got just about what every Democrat in every special election and during many of the elections across the country during 2016 got. He got around that 46, 47% range. So that's where the Democrats seem to get. They can't move away from out of their base. They can't seem to grow past their base. And in fact, in many places, they're losing some of their base, some of their more moderate, quote-unquote, base. So he didn't get anything more than he should have gotten, basically, if you're looking at actual national numbers. And yet it's always the Republican that seems to be able to get past, to grow past and get more votes past the Republican base. Isn't that interesting? I mean, they pumped in so much. What did they spend? What, $25, $30 million on Ossoff's side alone? From out of state. I saw a report, and it was a meme that led me to a report where there was $8 million was raised out of New York City and Chicago alone. Well, he's at Georgia. How the hell do you raise $8 million in New York City? I mean, that's akin to being a carpetbagger. And then, of course, during the I still don't know how this is legal. The guy didn't even live in the district that he wanted to serve. And during the entire election process, he refused to move into the district. I don't know how you do that. Aren't you supposed to be representing the people of your own community? Well, they're not his people. He didn't live there. Yeah, maybe his parents still live there, but he doesn't live there. And still, those idiots still gave him 47% of the vote. But it doesn't matter. These people their left is being rejected everywhere. And frankly, you think that the thick skulls of Republicans would get on board with this and finally figure it out. Well, hey, the American people really want Trump and his agenda, and they want Republicans to help Trump fulfill his agenda. But we're going to sit around and block it. You got to be a numbskull. But here it is. So now we have Handel is now going to sit in the so-called Gingrich seat. After the most expensive, this is the most expensive House race ever, folks, according to everybody who should know. I mean, this is a seat that pays, $175,000 a year. And they spent, I guess, all in all, total between both sides, they spent nearly $50 million. I don't see how that equates, folks. I really don't. It makes no sense. Why would, because the Democrats really needed to win, but other than that, why would you raise and spend $25 to $30 million on a losing cause? This guy should have walked away with it, considering all the money that they spent. Amazing. Anyway, we got a caller here. I do believe this is Dom calling in. Good morning, Dom. What you got?
Good morning, Rod. I sorry about the noise. I'm in the backyard and the trash man's driving around. But, I wanted to talk about this election because they're right. It was a referendum on Trump. And it showed pretty clear that America is sick of the emasculated beta male. We're just tired of it. This guy, you look at this guy, we all jokingly call him Pajama Boy, but you look at this guy and he is the epitome of the guy you see at an Antifa rally putting a girl in front of him.
But
hey, there's going to be trouble.
He was cute. Well, I can't tell you how many women said that he's cute. He's cute. Didn't that count for something?
Grover's cute. Muppets are cute. I don't want them running anything. And when they say yes, this was a referendum on Trump, it was, and he put a stamp on it. America is ready for alpha males to be in charge again. We are tired of what the left considers a man to be. For years we knew what a man was. Then they came along and they tried to change it and tell us that guys like Ossoff are a real man. No, they're not. And say it with me, people. And still undefeated, Donald J. Trump.
Yeah,
I made a meme. Yeah, 5-0. I made a meme, and I know memes of it, but it's so true. It's just Trump saying, "Hey, even when it's not me winning, I still win."
Yeah, well, they made this when Trump pretty much tweeted in favor of obviously of Handel. What he had 2 or 3 tweets. trying to get people to get out and vote for Handel. They made it sound like, well, geez, if the president can directly appeal to the people and Ossoff wins, that means it's a total rejection of Trump. That's what they made it sound like. They wanted that to be true, and it didn't. It turned out to be just the opposite. And if you notice, about a week before the election actually took place, the mainstream media started walking back and toning down. That's when I knew that they had the polls that said that he was going to lose, even though they kept telling us these fake, phony polls that he had a chance or that he was even up. They knew then he was going to lose, which is why they started walking back. Well, it's not really a referendum on Trump, and if he comes within a couple of points, it's going to be tell you that people are getting tired of Trump, and they started spinning this every which way to Sunday, just like they did up in Montana. And as it turns out, she basically blew the guy away with a 5-point win.
Yeah, which is funny because she had a 5-point win, but we didn't know that. This goes back to my point that polls are made for one thing, to keep people interested in tuning in. I went in and I was looking online. They're Ossoff's winning. Oh, this is too close to call. And then all of a sudden the polls close. Oh yeah, he got his butt kicked. Wait, what? 10 minutes ago you said it was too close to call. And that's just so they can keep people tuning in as long as they can. They knew Ossoff was getting his butt kicked, but nobody tunes in for a blowout. Nobody watches a blowout. So the polls will always show it to be closer than it is.
Here's one of the things that they were playing up. And as I was looking at the numbers, and yes, folks, I look at numbers, and I apply a little bit of logic to the actual numbers, not the polls, the actual vote tallies. And Ossoff had a decent lead in early voting. Now, here's why this is important, folks. This is why I say we need to get rid of early voting. The reason is because we know that Democrats do tend to cheat. And it is very easy to cheat in early voting. It is very difficult, especially a lot of the early votes come in via the mail. It is very easy to cheat in early voting. And he had a very suspicious, huge early, it was like 7,000 or 8,000 vote lead in just in early voting. Now, Democrats tend to vote early simply because they tend to cheat early. And that's the truth. And now we're looking at some 5.7 million illegal votes. They're going all the way back to 2008 where they suspect 5 million illegal votes for Obama. I mean, that actually puts McCain as president, if that's the truth. But, hey.
Yeah, as much as I hate to admit this, I think I'm better off with Obama as president than McCain. Honestly, that guy has turned out to be a real disaster. Obama's gone now. I don't want a McCain library. Living in Arizona, that guy's a disgrace to my state. And I'm sorry, you may have done good things in the past, but you're only as good as your last book, and your last book was horrible, McCain. Real quick, I did want to point out one thing that you mentioned, the money that was thrown into this election. $30 million on his side alone, on Ossoff's side alone. And it just pinpoints the Democrat mentality. We've got a problem. Let's throw some money at it. We've got a problem. Well, maybe if we spend more money, and that's how they would run this country. Obama has proven it. Well, we'll just spend more. Throwing money into a fire doesn't help anyone, and they've never figured that out. That is their go-to thing. We'll tax people and spend more money.
Well, when it comes to elections, don't Democrats always say that Republicans buy elections?
Apparently, we spend our money wiser if that's the case.
Well, I mean, just saying, the Republicans, somehow we spend all this money in elections, and it seems like every time in an important race somewhere, Democrats raise more and outspend us, and we still beat them. So who's trying to buy an election?
It's not us. And they bring out popular stars. I mean, let's face it, in America, Hollywood stars are almost a form of royalty, and they cart them out. And they still don't work because it's all the same old tricks that we've seen through. I mean, I got to give so much credit to the internet on this because back in the day when we only had CNN and we only had ABC and things like that, they ruled the roost. They controlled everything. And all these tricks worked. And it's not like they were new tricks back then. They kept using the same old tricks. We'll card out a starlet. We'll throw out a little innuendo. We'll bring out the scandal at the right time, and it'll work. And it didn't work with Trump. It didn't work here in Atlanta because now everyone's talking to each other. It's not, well, CNN said, it's, well, that guy said. It's us talking to each other. You remember the whole, I think it was the Trump groping scandal or whatever. All of us Trumpers knew about that months ago because the Cruz people already knew about it. And they said, look, you guys better not back Trump because they're going to drop a bomb on him right before Election Day. So when it came out, if you notice, when it came out, we were all like, I don't care. We've already heard about this. It's nothing shocking, and it didn't work. Honestly, it didn't work because they no longer have gotcha because, well, it's Hillary Clinton and they all proved they're incapable of keeping secrets. So once they hit the net, we all know about it.
Yeah, absolutely true. Well,
anyway, Rod, I don't want to take up more of your show. Always a pleasure. Love you, brother.
All right. Thank you, Dom. It's always great talking to you.
Bye.
One of the things that I'm going to say this, the real reason that Ossoff lost is because Beyonce was too pregnant to campaign for him. After all, she was having twins.
Hello, America. It's me, your history. I remember a time when we thumbed our nose in a king's face, sent him packing. And when fascists and emperors talked a little bit too loud, we showed up, tore their cities to the ground, and then rebuilt them just to prove we could. We put men on the moon, we won a Cold War, and we elected fearless leaders who led fearless people. What the hell happened to you, America? Back in my day, we didn't elect a big-eared community organizer. We punched him in the kidney. Maybe it's time you came home, America. Home where you belong.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
Call Rod now, 603-835-3226. Lines are open.
In case you've been living under a rock and you didn't hear, yes, Beyonce did give birth to twins. Now, I didn't really care. I understand that the babies were healthy. That's good. I'm glad that they're healthy and they're fine. I think it was a boy and a girl. I have no idea. But anyway, the big point about this is that Beyonce and Jay-Z, especially Bey, seems to be so big. I mean, she can throw out just absolutely crappy music and it becomes a hit. I have no idea how, just because she's Bey. Doesn't even have to try. You know, just throw a bunch of notes together and a bunch of words together. Don't got to say anything or mean anything, and it'll become a hit. But she is so big, obviously. You would think that she's bigger than Michael Jackson, which she's not, but you think that she is. That when Beyonce's father announced the birth of the twins, Beyonce's fans got mad at him for doing it because, and I quote, many of her fans said, it's not your job or your business you took the wind out of her sails and all that kind of stuff. They were trashing her father for being the proud grandpa of twins. I mean, that's just sad. It's sad, sad, sad. So that's why, I mean, evidently, because Beyonce is so big, so huge, not body-wise. I know somebody's going to try to say, well, you're making fun of Beyonce for being pregnant. No, I mean big as far as her stature is concerned, her celebrity. She is so big that evidently, if she would have went down there and campaigned for Ossoff, he would have won. But see, there's a problem there. According to Bey, the woman who did the Black Lives Matter salute at a Super Bowl halftime show. There's one problem with Ossoff. He had the right color hair, but the wrong color skin. I mean, let's be honest about it. Seriously. But so that's probably why that's why Jay-Z didn't go down there and throw a concert. Well, I mean, but Hillary Clinton was a woman, and Bey's a woman, obviously. Why do people call her Bey? Isn't it Beyonce is her name? Beyonce Carter is because a lot of people don't know Sean Carter is the actual government name of Jay-Z. But you realize how much those two are worth? You want to talk about hypocritical black Democrats? Those two together are worth nearly $1 billion. I mean, they're rich. By any stretch of the imagination. I mean, Jay-Z's, he's even bragged about it. He's got a watch for every day of the week, and each one is worth over $30,000. Who even has one $30,000 watch? This guy's got at least 7 of them. That's rich. And they're black. And they're running around talking about all the poor black people and how the Republicans are for the rich. And are you kidding me? What a bunch of hypocrites. But that's par for the course. Hey, you don't got, according to the left, you don't even have to live in the district you're going to represent and still get on the ballot. I don't know how that's still possible. Can somebody tell me how in the hell is it? He wasn't president. So how in the hell is it that you can actually get on the ballot for a district that you don't even live in? Georgia, you need to change your election rule or something down there, people. Come on, seriously?
Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm a leftist elite Hollywood a-hole? If so, good news. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College is now open, featuring such courses as unemployment is not paid vacation. No, Americans don't want to spend $19 for an order of french fries, and the ever popular shut the hell up. Why, just listen to this big-time celebrity endorsement.
I'm not Rosie O'Donnell, and I think this school's offensive, sexist, and racist.
And I think you're a giant a-hole who needs to shut the hell up. Hey, we teach a course in that. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College, where being an a-hole is not a guarantee you'll be an A student.
Thousands of families affected by disasters, like the recent wildfires, urgently need support. you can help the American Red Cross provide warm meals, shelter, and hope to families when they need it most. Please donate today to Red Cross Disaster Relief to help people affected by disasters, big and small. Go to redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. Your support is critical. We can't do it without you.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you could still have hepatitis C, a serious disease that's a leading cause of liver cancer. If you were born from 1945 to 65, you should get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments can cure this disease. Talk to your doctor about getting tested. A message from the CDC.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Premature birth is the #1 killer of babies. Those who survive often face birth defects and complications that affect them for life. For hundreds of thousands of families in the United States, this is the hardest thing they will ever have to face. And it's even harder on the baby. March of Dimes is providing education and support to families and funding life-saving research to give every baby a fighting chance. You can help. Do something today. Give them tomorrow at marchofdimes.org/tomorrow.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. Go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on, and that's beating this thing.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Not on my watch, our military service members say, as they volunteer to serve. As they move out, stand firm, and take fire. So not on our watch, we say, to the severely ill or injured veterans who can't get the care they deserve to live full and independent lives, even when there's no government funding or a nursing home seems like the only option. We won't leave one warrior behind. Not on our watch. Join us at findwwp.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire. He's Rod Eccles.
And welcome back. Good morning, Liberty lovers and ecclesiastites all across the globe. It is good to have you here this morning, this hump day, this Wednesday morning, June number 21 in the year of our Lord 2017, which means it is the first day of summer. Happy Summer Day. Or summer solstice, or whatever the Druids of old used to call it. It's now getting sunny out here, but I guess down south, it is the first day of the hurricane season. And the left, if you're looking at some of the news reports, they're all giddy about there being a tropical storm possibly coming up, and tropical storm warnings down in Texas and in the Gulf around Houston and going over to Louisiana and stuff like that. They do it every year. And they talk about how, although I haven't heard them say that this is going to be a very bad season, because the last 3 seasons they kept telling us it was going to be, more hurricanes than ever before. And we still, how long did we go without a hurricane touching? It was like 110 months. It's like 5 or 6 or 7 years. Major hurricane did not hit the continental U.S. And they kept telling us it was going to be a disaster. Going to be billions and billions of dollars in damage in the U.S. because, we didn't get any hurricanes. I'm not saying that I want them, but evidently they did. And it's just natural weather patterns. It's going to happen. I mean, for crying out loud. I mean, we never get the number of named hurricanes that they said we were going to get, and they kept telling us about all these named storms. And didn't they downgrade now aren't they naming tropical depressions? They weren't naming them before. I think they're naming them now, just to try to blow up all this man-made climate change crap. They keep having to drop the bar lower and lower and lower because all their dire predictions, none of them come true. Unless you're Al Gore. Somehow Al Gore has seen tropical fish swimming in the streets of Miami because Miami is now underwater. Al Gore has seen it. Yeah, he's been there and he's seen it. Look, he said it. I didn't. That's a quote from Al Gore. Yeah, I've been to Miami and I've seen the fish swimming in the streets of Miami. This is how sick these people are. It doesn't take much just to say, well, did he just say what he just said? Is that true? I mean, I'm sure the people of Miami were surprised to learn that they had tropical fish swimming in their streets. I'm very, I don't know, but Al Gore probably thinks that if they say that there's not, that they're lying. And they could be saying, well, Al, I'm looking at the streets now. There's no water in the streets. It's sunny out, and there's no fish swimming down the street. You're lying. I saw them. Anyway, 603-835-3226 is the number to call in. Left, I keep saying they're losing they've lost their collective minds. I don't know what, it's kind of, I get, what is the Star Trek, not the Borg, because the Borg at least were logical. The Bionars, remember the Bionars? They all were connected together. So that's liberals. Liberals' minds must all be connected like this, because they all seem to be devolving into Neanderthals at the exact same pace at the exact same time. So they've got to be connected like the Bionars. Because if they were like the Borg, then they'd probably be more conservative than most of us real conservatives, to tell you the truth. But yeah, resistance is futile. Maybe that's what we should. That's what we should tell the left in their hashtag resist. Resistance is futile. I'm sorry, I can't help. I should not make fun of people like that, but can't help it. Well, that sound means, ladies and gentlemen, can only mean one thing. That Agent 0010 is in the house. And he has got his weekly report for us this morning. Good morning, Agent.
Good morning, Rod. How are you?
I am blessed and highly favored. Doing better than I probably should be doing.
And to use my favorite word, grooviness.
Yes. So now that we've got, I think all the special elections are done. There isn't one left, right? I think there was only 5 that were total?
Let's see. I swear, I mean, Democrats came up with some acronym for fail, like future or something. They came up with some acronym. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to come up with my own spin on loss. Loss means you lost. End of story. Move on. But no. They're like, Timmy, you did so great. But Mom, I came in 35th out of 34 people. It doesn't matter. You tried. That's all that matters. No, it doesn't. No, that's not what matters. People are so dumb.
You participate. John Ossoff, at least you participated. So maybe we should give him a participation trophy for losing.
No, honestly, though, think about this. With all the money that the Democratic Party and all these donors gave this individual to run and win, it's like taking an athlete, putting him in a state-of-the-art training facility, getting the very best coaches, the very best dietitians, the very, very best doctors, the very best of everything under the sun. And you expect that this individual, after so much training, after so much pampering, after so much conditioning, would win? No. Dead last. And why do I say dead last? If you come in second in a race of 2 people, you're dead last.
Yeah. Very good point. So what you got for me this morning, or us this morning, in your report? Anything new on the Seth Rich case? I just saw something over the weekend. I guess now that they've got this all these learned individuals in criminology that have said, well, this was a hit. Did I not?
Yeah,
did I not say that this was a hit? And we're told it was a robbery.
Did I not agree with you? Did I not agree with you and give you the examples as to why it wasn't a robbery and why it was a hit?
Yes, and people who know more than I do in this field also agree it was a hit.
We're so educated, aren't we?
But
yeah, I mean the whole. I have nothing right now. I have nothing on Seth Rich because people are going back and forth, and a lot of it is innuendo, a lot of it is hearsay. So before I go any further, I mean, I just want to make sure that if I'm going to tell you and the rest of the people that listen to the program any information, I just want to make sure that this information is on target, on spot, and that I'm not misleading anyone because I am not a Democrat. So therefore, but what I do have is the latest on Saudi Arabia. And because today on Twitter, I told people that we were going to be talking about geopolitics. Uh-huh. Well, here's the situation in Saudi Arabia. The king of Saudi Arabia decided that he's going to take his nephew, who was the crown prince. Now, when you're a crown prince, that means you're next in line when the king or queen kick the bucket. Well, his nephew is no longer the crown prince of Saudi Arabia. He made his son the crown prince. Here's something that's a little on the crazy side. Let's take two scenarios, and here's the connection between the two. The Saudi Arabian government has planes flying over Yemen and bombing the hell out of Yemen and fighting against the Yemenis, not just the Yemenis people, but in Yemen what had occurred was that the legitimate government had been overthrown by rebel factions that were supported by Iran. Now, Iran is the same country who's meddled in Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon. So the Saudi Arabian government felt like, okay, we've got Iran to the north, and now we have Yemen to our south. You know what? This is too close for comfort. We don't like this sandwich, so we're going to change it. So they're sending in planes and everything else in order to try to reestablish the proper or the legitimate Yemenis government that was overthrown by the rebels. Now, don't forget, Iran also supports terrorism. And that's who basically overthrew the Yemenis government, ISIS-sympathizing rebels. So, with that being done, the crown prince yesterday was changed from the nephew to the son. Here's the link. The crown prince, the former crown prince, the nephew, was in charge of anti-terrorism and defense. He was the one that was basically involved or in charge of what was going on in Yemen. This happened not long after Donald Trump, or President Trump, paid a visit to the Saudi Arabian government. I have a funny feeling that there may be a new change in what's going on in Yemen because, unfortunately, the innocent people are being slaughtered left and right by all the bombing and everything else that's going on in Yemen. Innocent people are suffering. And one of the president's promises was he was going to try to bring some stabilization into the Middle East. So not long after the planes that were bought by Saudi Arabia have arrived, now there has been a change in the regime in Saudi Arabia, which means that there is going to possibly be a great change as to what's happening in Yemen. Like I said, to me, I've always been the type of person that I've always enjoyed 2 + 2 = 4, not 3 or 5. So this 2 + 2 is letting me know that there quite possibly might be a change in what's going on in Yemen at this time.
Well, we've already seen Saudi Arabia. Well, we've seen the Middle East do something that we haven't seen them do in quite some time, when it's not geared towards Israel. But we have a faction of 5 countries in the Middle East that are teaming up now to line up against Iran and ISIS, which is why couldn't Obama went over there? Why couldn't he do that?
Let me see. How can I put this nicely? I'm gonna put this nicely because Obama is a dumbass. There you go.
Oh. Well, and people are, even members of my own family say that Trump is an idiot. When I try to get them to give me specifics, they can't give me any specifics, which is really interesting.
No, yeah, but as opposed to Obama, I mean, we can give you a mountain of specifics, and eventually, I mean, you say, give me 3 examples of why Obama's a dumbass or an idiot, and you give them 10, and they'll look at you and say, I said, give me 3. So now you're wrong because you went overboard.
Yes.
Okay. Now, here's something that's happening in Illinois. I'm sure people that watch Fox News have heard this, but here's a little something else that they didn't know about. The state of Illinois, heavy Democrat state of Illinois, they can't pay the people that win the lottery there.
Yeah, I have that in my paper pile. What the hell happened over? Well, I mean, I know it's a Democratic stronghold, but still, what the hell happened?
Well, you know what? I'm going to let you, because you've got that on your paper pile, so I don't want to step on your toes or anything like that. But here's one thing that is not in the paper. Now, Obamacare is very popular in Illinois. People are being rejected by their health care providers because the state can't afford to pay the health care bills. Obamacare is now actually directly to blame for people being rejected by their health care providers to come in for a visit or an exam or what have you. They'll say, well, I have like this sensation down my left arm. Well, do you feel tightness in the chest? No, stay home. They are looking for reasons for people not to come in and run up the costs because the state of Illinois is insolvent.
There's something else in the paper pile that there was some liberal group that actually came out and said that we can't afford single payer. It's a lot more expensive than they thought. Like, duh. But yeah, it's when I saw this, and it's not being widely reported either that Illinois is on the brink of financial disaster. I mean, this is a major state here with a major U.S. city. The third biggest city in the country is smack dab in the middle of a very large American state, and they're in fiscal trouble.
Well, what bothers me is that the report on Fox News this morning, they're talking about the lottery, and all of a sudden I make a couple of phone calls in about 3 minutes, come to find out it's not just the lottery. It's also the fact that people are being turned away from going to see their doctor. People are actually being told, don't come in. It's not that bad. Suck it up and drive on.
Hey.
So
just take a pill and go home.
Yeah. Drink water. Take Motrin, drink water, the old Army adage. Take Motrin. Anyway, so you've got these people that, they're like, oh, Obamacare's the greatest. And they're being rejected. Why? Because the state can't afford to pay the bill.
Well, that's
here's the answer.
It's the evil insurance company's fault.
Oh, yeah, of course. But get ready. Here's the answer. Illinois has come up with this brilliant answer. Raise taxes.
Oh, yeah, that's the answer to throw more money at the problem. It's what the previous caller Don said. That's what they do. That's the only play that they have.
Now, let's paint this scenario. I'm going to paint a scenario for you. You've got refugees that are going on out in Europe because of Africa and the Middle East. Well, think about this. Economic refugees are leaving the state of Illinois, and they're going to Michigan and Wisconsin. Mind you, Republican states. They're going there. The population in Illinois is decreasing. And it will continue to decrease, thus placing a higher burden on those that stay in Illinois, because now their taxes are going to go up and up and up and up to make up for that exodus of people leaving the state. So therefore, you've got people demanding free crap, but unable to pay for it, because eventually the people that can pay for it won't be there.
Sounds like another California and New York. Oh, by the way, those are all three of those are long liberal bastions, long-held liberal Democrat bastions. New York, Illinois, California. Is there a correlation there? Nah, there couldn't be. No.
Nah. Yeah, you're seeing things. Stop that. Here's some more good news. I just got this, and I couldn't stop laughing. China talks tough to the United States. Oh, you're going to stop this. We're not going to put up with your nonsense anymore. Blah, 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 blah. Then they turned around and said, oh, by the way, yeah, we want to buy your beef. So, yes, China has opened the door to import U.S. beef, which means if you have any money in the stock market, ladies and gentlemen, put it in beef right away, because China is going to buy.
Oh, that's going to drive the wonderful environmentalist animal rights wackos nuts, because that means more cattle, which is devastating to the environment and to cattle. Because obviously you have to kill the cattle and butcher them in order to eat them.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on a second. This is where I'm confused with these liberal environmentalists. They complain that cows emit methane because, like any creature, they fart. And they're destroying the ozone and blah, 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 blah. Then these are the same people that turn around and say, stop killing the cows, that's inhumane. Well, the more cows we kill, the less farts they're going to make. That means less methane. That means we're saving the ozone.
Well,
so it's one or the other.
Unless we go the way of Australia, who's trying to bio-develop a cow that farts a lot less. They haven't succeeded yet.
Really?
They've been trying for years now, yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, good God. I hope you're joking. Please tell me you're joking.
I wish I was. No, this was a story a few years ago. I think I was still on Blog Talk Radio when this story first popped up. Yeah, they were going to try to develop a cow that actually had less flatulence than current cows in order to save the environment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
I should look into that and give a follow-up to that, but
some people really need to get a dog, name it Life, so they can have one. Anyway. But for all of those that are very critical of you that we're not a serious program, I'm going to make them even angrier. Get ready. The Ken doll is making a makeover. This is on the lighter side of news, ladies and gentlemen. The Ken doll is having a makeover. Is it a black Ken doll? No. Is it a Spanish Ken doll? No. Asian Ken doll? No. Native American Ken doll? No.
Okay, wait. Hold on. We got to go to the break.
Yeah.
Can you stay until after the break? Bottom of the break? See. All right, guys.
Sure.
This is probably the best kind of lead up I've ever heard. What kind of Ken doll are we going to be getting? We'll be back, folks. Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the Rod Eccles Show, the coolest, most politically incorrect, conservative black man on the planet.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Hi, Gordon. What you been up to?
Big things, Fred. I'm a full-time student at bartending college.
Wow. I never had time for a formal education.
Well, I decided to make time, but it's not easy. Bartending college is a 4-week course.
Gee, how far along are you?
Well, let's see. This is Tuesday, the 3rd week. Hey, I'm a junior, and I'm late for a daiquiri lecture. Why don't you join me?
Why not? Bartending College.
You've already spent enough time on the other side of the bar to qualify for enrollment.
Bartending College.
We'll teach you everything you need to know. You'll get a starter set of bartenders' jokes like,
so I says to the guy, you can stay, but the cow's gotta go.
Bartending College.
You'll learn how to roll drunks, water the liquor, and skim the cash register. And remember, as the bartender, you drink for free. Last call for integrity.
So everybody's gonna, if you got a guess on what the new Ken doll is, go ahead and put it in the chat room. And then when we get back from the break, we will find out which of us is correct. Call Rod now, 666-603-835-3226.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
Okay, this is your last shot to give your guess in the Spreaker chat room over on Spreaker.com as to what the new Ken doll is going to be like, and we're going to find out in just about 30 seconds what that is. But first, I want to tell people about Quality Drive Away. Quality Drive Away is a company that delivers the large vehicles around the country. So, you know, you got a school bus, you got a Winnebago. Well, those types of things, and trucks, you know, the tractor parts of trucks, and even trailers. So those kind of things can't fit on the back of a car carrier. So, but they've got to get from the manufacturer to the dealerships or to the other various places around the country. And one of the biggest and best companies that do this is Quality Drive Away. And this is a tremendous opportunity for people who like to drive, who like to travel, and like to make some decent money. There is a gentleman that works for Quality Drive Away, and for the last 3 years has made more than $100,000 a year. And he works 2 months on, takes 1 month off. How would you like to have 3 months off a year? Well, you can do that and still make $100,000. You can do that with Quality Drive Away. You can get all the information at qualitydriveaway.com. So if you like to drive, you like to see the country, go on vacation. How about doing a delivery of a Winnebago someplace that you want to go on vacation? Stay a week. And this is a true paid vacation. You get paid to go there. Stay a week, and then find another delivery that has to go back home. You can do that. People do that all the time. They're looking for new drivers. You don't even have to have any experience. They have a wonderful training system and mentorship program. And you can get more details at qualitydriveaway.com. That's qualitydriveaway.com. And so now is the time that we're going to find out from Agent 0010 what this new Ken doll is. What is this? Now, my guess is, let me just put it out there. My guess, I had a couple of guesses, but I'm settling on ISIS Ken doll, but not exactly ISIS. It's going to be Antifa Ken doll, and he comes with a black hoodie, black face mask, and the sunglasses and everything. You know, everything to look like he's ISIS and Antifa, whatever. My second guess was Pajama Boy, but so what do we got?
Okay. I saw some of the answers in the chat room, and you guys were pretty dang close. So it seems that the toy maker has decided to take Antifa or the snowflake and the hipster and put them together in one bold swoop, and they have, on Ken, have placed a man bun.
Oh, you gotta be kidding.
No. Ken will have a man bun.
I hate man buns. Oh, wow.
Well, yeah, a man bun.
Unless you're a strapping, well-built, 6'2" Icelander, you cannot get away with a man bun.
In this country, in the United States, it is my honest opinion that the man bun is not a symbol of an alpha male. It is not even the symbol of a beta male. It is the symbol of the Charlie male. I mean, even beta males have some sense of self-respect. I mean, they're followers. They're not leaders. But the man bun, see, and I say the C male because it's the confused male. Am I stylish? Is this okay? Am I a leader because I'm wearing a man, or am I a follower? The confused male has nothing to do with gender. Has everything to do with they don't know who the hell they are. They don't know if they're a leader or a follower, a talker or a doer. To me, my opinion, the man bun is a symbol of the new category of male, the sea male. That doesn't sound good, sea male. Sounds like an animal out there in the Arctic.
Well, I mean, there is a logical historical reason for the man bun, and it actually is. It is part of Norse history. You know, Vikings. Anybody want to call a Viking a mamby-pamby? Not at all. But
you know what? I'll freely admit, when I was in high school and I was playing high school sports, I had long hair. So I would put my hair up in a ponytail, you know, and, you know, take a shower in the morning or take a shower after a game or practice, wash the hair, put it back in a ponytail, go home. But man bun, a man bun, really?
Well, yeah, they've obviously stylized it, but that was pretty much what they used to do. Because, you know, men, they didn't have barbers on every street corner, so men's hair grew quite long, too. And if you're out in battle, the last thing you want is your hair sticking out so your enemy could grab it and control your head, because that means you're dead if they do that. So they would put their hair out into these elaborate types of things, and the Norse were pretty famous for this. And, of course, that's what Icelanders are, you know, descended from, Vikings basically, and so they stylize it, and they originally came. Well, I don't know if they originally came up with it, but this is where I first noticed men with this man bun type of thing, and then it hit the U.S. shores, and it represented everything that definitely was not alpha male.
See, have you noticed that the trend so far is faux masculinity? With these young guys, the trend is faux masculinity. Oh, being a beard was a symbol of masculinity? I'm growing a beard. Oh, having a man bun was a sign of masculinity? I'm getting a man bun. No. In order, masculinity, facial hair or a man bun has nothing to do with masculinity. What has everything to do with it is drive, determination, ambition, courage, self-preservation, or just going out there and making things happen. That is what masculinity is about back then. Not how much hair you have on your face and not how big your man bun is. It has nothing to do with masculinity. There were reasons why these people did these things. Like, for instance, if you're on a ship and you're going way out and you're gone for a couple of years, I doubt very much you're going to find a barber out in the middle of the Pacific.
Yeah, no. But I always thought it was just because the millennials who are now sporting all this facial hair, most of the time, it's just because they're lazy. They don't want to shave. They don't want to trim it. They look like Grizzly Adams or something. Well, even Grizzly Adams looked more masculine than these people do, but still, you get my point.
Yeah, I mean, no. You know what? I mean, I have a beard, but I keep it clean and trim. And you know what? After over 25 years of having to shave my face almost every day, yeah, I'm taking a break. I'm taking a break, damn it. That's why I have a beard. But you know what? I'm vain. Oh, I'm so vain. It's got to look good. It's got to be true. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm just better off just shaving it all off. It's easier because I am so vain. It's a curse.
Hopefully this is a trend that will wane fairly soon. Anybody remember Miami Vice when Don Johnson had the scruff? Then everybody had to have scruff. And that was a big thing for a while, and then it sort of waned away. Well, I think we're starting to see that here, because guess what's back in fashion? The suit. Yes, businesses are actually turning back to the suit and away from this ridiculous, casual everyday. They took casual everyday to the point where people were wearing shorts and holes in their jeans and dirty T-shirts to work. And I think companies have finally decided, well, that's just too far, so we're going to start going back the other way. So the sale of suits is actually up.
I have always been the type that has felt or have been in the opinion of that if you dress professional, you feel professional, you will be professional.
Yeah.
To me, those three go hand in hand. But, that is funny. You see this guy with a beard, and you're thinking, oh, okay. And he comes up to you with a slight swagger, or, he's a bearded individual. You're thinking Viking, you're thinking outdoorsman. And then all of a sudden,
listen, I'm tired of you Republicans. Stop it. I'm just going to get so upset. I'm going to hold my breath until I turn blue. You got to vote for Hillary. She's awesome.
And then you just want to slap him.
You got that cadence I can't stand down, Pat. That speech pattern.
Thank you.
One of the other things is that I've also noticed is that a lot of the young male Hollywood stars are also dressing up more often when they're not going to one of their self-aggrandizing events, and they just wear suits and business casual more often. They're being seen more often dressed like that. So it's kind of nice to see that there is some leaning towards having some sort of self-pride. I always think it's about self-pride. Even if you do have facial hair, you have a beard, if you keep it well-groomed, it looks good. It can look good. If you keep your hair well-groomed and clean, it looks, the whole dirty thing, the whole grubby whatever grunge that came out of the Seattle grunge movement, hopefully that's going away, because these millennials have definitely taken the grunge look up a notch, and it's lazy, it's unprofessional, and in my book, if I have the choice between two candidates to hire, and one of them comes in half kempt and the other one is well groomed, the well groomed may not be as qualified as the unkempt one, but I'm going to hire the well groomed one.
Well, because he's not going to embarrass you.
Yeah. And so
Yep.
That's the way it is.
Well, on that note, I'm going to take off. I want you all to have a great day, and I will talk to you guys next week, and hopefully I will have information on some stuff I'm working on.
All right.
Take care, folks.
Definitely look forward to it. Thank you very much, Agent 0010. Be safe out there. All right, folks. This whole, it's important. One of the things that, and I liken it, and it's been over a year since I've been there, but I liken it back to when I visited Paris. They don't have pajama boys there in Paris. I mean, even the high school kids, I was there in December, so they had school. Even the high school kids who were, going to school, they were well dressed and well groomed. Not anything like the kids here. I mean, look at the Asian culture. South Korea, Japan, even China. Those kids are not unkempt. Well, China, they usually have uniforms for school, which might not be a bad idea for American kids to have to wear a school uniform. I didn't used to believe that, but now I've come around and thinking, logically speaking, it makes a lot of logical sense. Well, you're going to crush their free spirit in their creativity. No, I'm not. Wearing a uniform is not crushing their spirit. For crying out loud, it just does. It is what it is. you got to take it with a grain of salt, I guess. But the whole notion that this man bun, this unkempt beard, facial hair, bad grooming, I always, but then they'll go out and spend a ton of money to get their teeth whitened. Is there anything more oxymoronic than that? Yeah, let's have some white teeth, but the rest of us is going to look totally unkempt. You're never going to see me with a man bun.
I'm not Rod Eccles, and I approve this message.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said to me, "I bet you won't lend me money to buy an electric guitar." Well, he was making $100 a week, and he was over 18, and I said, "I bet you I will lend you money to buy an electric guitar." And I did. So what happens? The punk gets busted for possession of dangerous drugs, and we're out $350. There's one thing about kids nowadays. You don't have to give them credit.
Universal Bank. We trust you. About as far as we can throw you.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Warning. Listening to the Rod Eccles Show by the Idiot Left may cause outrage, fear, a need for safety pins and/or spaces. If you experience any of these symptoms or are allergic to truth, tune in and learn something.
Get up!
Get up, get it. 603-835-3226. Welcome back. Here's a story that Agent 0010 mentioned that I have here in the paper pile about Illinois. Illinois is grappling with a full-fledged financial crisis, and not even the lottery is safe. Governor Bruce Rauner, is that how you pronounce his name? Rauner? Rauner. I've never heard his name pronounced. I know I'm in this every day, and I got to tell you, I do not recall ever hearing his last name pronounced. But he's warning the state is entering a banana republic territory. Banana Republic in Illinois. Oh, say it isn't so. Now, I understand, folks, he's a Republican, but let's face it, he's an inside the Beltway type of Republican. He's a moderate Republican. You're not going to, in this day and age, you're not going to get a true constitutional conservative elected as governor of Illinois. But anyway, he's not a full-fledged idiotic liberal, tax and spend liberal. That he's not. So basically what's happening is, I guess, Illinois is facing billions in unpaid bills and pension obligations, and the state is hitting a cash crunch. Unpaid bills also includes all of those wonderful Obamacare things, which is what Agent 0010 mentioned. A top financial officer or official in the state just warned 100% of the state's monthly revenue will be eaten up by, pay attention to this, by court-ordered payments. This is why there is separation of powers. It is not the court's job or within their constitutional abilities to order. And I don't care what state you're in. All 50 states have a separation of powers in their three governmental branches. They have to have that in order to be a part of this union, because their constitutions have to line up with the federal constitution. In other words, a state cannot come on board and all of a sudden say that slavery is legal, because it doesn't line up with the federal constitution, which says that there can be no slavery in this country. So this is the same thing with this judicial activism. These judges are not elected in many cases. They do not have the purveyance to do anything that is physical, that is financial, for those of you in Rush Limbaugh's Real Linda. So now the court is saying, well, you've got to pay these kinds of payments. And now, as it turns out, these courts are helping to put Illinois in a financial bind. Now, if I were the governor, I'd just throw out that kind of stuff. By the way, if something is unconstitutional, even if it comes from a court, do you know that the executive has every constitutional and legal right to ignore that order? Because it is nothing more than an illegal order. And an illegal order isn't automatically legal because a sitting judge says so. I mean, do you people realize that? That's the truth. It's just like in the military. The rank and file can disobey an illegal or immoral order or from a superior officer. In fact, they have an obligation to do so. So if you do something illegal and you say, well, I was ordered to do so, that's not a legal defense in the military. In your court-martial, they will tell you you have a moral and legal and ethical obligation to disobey an immoral or illegal order from a superior officer. And trust me, people have tried to use that defense, and every single time it has been thrown out saying, yeah, that's not a defense, sorry. So the Illinois lottery could actually lose the lottery. The state of Illinois could actually lose the lottery. The state lotto requires a payment from the legislature each year. The current appropriation expires on June 30th of this year, this month, meaning no authority to pay prizes. So the state is already planning to halt its Powerball and Mega Millions sales. Now, if you want to talk about one thing that might turn a bunch of liberals to the conservative side, take away their ability to win, to play the lottery and win the lottery, and if they win, take away their ability to collect their prize. Ooh. Might be good for Illinois.
The following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron or a member of the PTL Club, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
When I found out I had atrial fibrillation, a serious but highly treatable heart condition, the first thing I thought of was who would take care of my wife and children if anything were to happen to me. My doctor recommended Prevactin. I had a lot of questions, so I did some research. It turns out Prevactin is the #1 recommended drug for Crohn's disease. I think my doctor's trying to kill me and steal my wife.
Doctors. They'll stop at nothing to get your wife.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
It's a huge burden lifted financially, and so it allows you to give singular focus to your child. I've never known a hospital that takes care of their patients so thoroughly.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire. It's Rod Eccles.
And here we are back, hour number 3. Yes, indeed, here on the Rod Eccles Show. The fastest 3 hours in Internet Talk Radio is right here. Welcome to all you liberty lovers and ecclesiastites all across the globe. It is I, your lovable host, L. Rod. Here it is Wednesday, Hump Day. June number 21, the year of our Lord 2017, which means it is the first day of summer and the first day that liberal weather nut jobs are going to go nutty. I'm talking about all the various natural calamities that are going to befallen us because we pulled out of the Paris Agreement. Yeah, I mean, yeah. We pull out of the Paris Agreement, so, you know, the sky's going to fall. Literally. Unless, of course, you are a member of the Flat Earth Society, then you think that nothing's going to happen. Well, one of two things, from what I understand. I try to understand these flat earthers. I cannot understand their reasoning. Well, they don't have any reasoning, and they just feel that the earth is flat because of, obviously, because if you're on a ball, you fall off, right? They obviously don't understand gravity. They're just, it's simply that simply put, they just don't understand gravity. Now, the sun is round, it's a ball, yes. The moon is round, it's a ball, yes. But the earth is flat. And the sun and the moon and everything in the universe travels around the earth. And somehow everything is flat, so the sun has to. Evidently, there's two schools of thought. From what I've gathered in the flat earthers. Now, even the flat earthers aren't totally united on one particular theory or another. But there are those that believe that we could do whatever we want to the planet, but it'll eventually work itself out. And there are those that believe because the Earth actually has a firmament in the sky, therefore we cannot. I don't know how they explain satellites, but we can't get things into space because of the firmament in this, because we'd break it if we did. And therefore, and they also believe that if we do not take care of the planet, that firmament will come crashing down on the planet, and our entire atmosphere will escape out into the nothing void of space. They believe that the firmament is what keeps our atmosphere in place. This is why we can't go into space. It's why all that stuff is a hoax to them. I kid you not, but you want to try to go down that path with them, it'll drive you insane. But so I don't suggest that you do it unless you have a very strong, mental defense system and mechanism like I do. I can handle that kind of thing. If you don't think you can handle it, then it will drive you insane if you go and try to look this stuff up. I'm telling you right now, these people are wackadoodles. And I'm sure I probably get some of them listening to this program who I'm going to hear from later, but I don't particularly care because if you're a flat earther, you're a wackadoodle. Plain and simple. Every kind of science, it says that you're wrong if you're a flat earther. No, it's just not plausible. It's illogical. But that is what it is, as far as that is concerned. But you're going to get all these wackadoodles from that are going to be talking about all the weather calamities that are going to befalling us, and Al Gore's vision. Evidently, he saw, as I mentioned earlier, he saw tropical fish swimming down the streets of Miami, and evidently, well, isn't New York City supposed to be like under 8 feet of water by now? Yeah, although there was something in the paper, I saw it. The reason why New York City is not underwater is because somehow the extra weight. Now, folks, I'm not kidding with this. Somehow the extra weight of the water has forced up some islands. There's been tectonic plate movement upward everywhere. Well, I guess not everywhere because, I guess, some of the South Pacific islands are sinking. But New York City has been lifted up, so they've been granted a reprieve. That's what some of them. That's how they're explaining why New York City isn't under 8 feet of water. I wish I was making this stuff up, folks, but I can't. I don't have that kind of imagination. So hey, it is what it is, I suppose. I don't know. But back to this Illinois stuff. Well, let's move on from Illinois. What you got now, as far as this Trump investigation, let's touch on that a little bit. Here's some latest updates on the Trump investigation. Well, evidently, the Democrats don't want to know the real truth. Democrats are blocking some witnesses from testifying in a House intel probe. Carter Page was scheduled to testify, but the Democrats have gotten that canceled. Here's a story from Free Beacon. House Democrats are continuing to block testimony from about a dozen witnesses who sought to appear before the Intelligence Oversight Panel investigating Russian interference in the 2016 election. By the way, did the Russians interfere in the Georgia election too? Special election yesterday? Surprised we haven't heard that yet. Congressional officials said one of the key witnesses, former informational advisor to the Trump campaign, Carter Page, supposedly a key witness here, was scheduled to testify at a closed hearing of House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, but Democrats in the committee blocked the testimony, asserting they need more time to prepare. They need more time to prepare? For what? How much time do they had all this time to prepare for this guy. They've been wanting this guy and others like him to testify before them, and they're not prepared? How is that possible? Well, folks, simply because they weren't prepared for all of this stuff to come out the way it came out, especially with Comey. So now they've got to come up with a new line. They've got to come up with a new excuse. They got to come up with new stories because Comey blew some of their stories out of the water. Not to mention, this is what they said. He's the guy that many Democrats have been pointing to as a supposed mastermind, and you would think that they'd be interested in hearing his story, said one unnamed Capitol official. Well, this is true. You would think that they'd already have been ready for this guy because he was one of half a dozen people that they were really pointing the finger at. That he knows it. He knows what goes on. He was involved in it. He was the head honcho. He was actually talking with the Russians, and he did this, and he coordinated. And now they're not prepared for his testimony? You would think that they already had all the evidence or proof or information that they needed to be prepared for this guy already, but evidently they're not. Or is it because they probably already know what he's going to say, and he's going to continue to blow up their position? And they can't have that. Why? Well, maybe because there just might be an obstruction of justice investigation. This from the Post, and this could be an obstruction of justice investigation against the Obama administration, with the main target being that of Loretta Lynch. Yes. Now, this is an opinion piece written by Paul Sperry from the New York Post, but his argument is very, very logical. He starts out by saying, by using fired FBI Director James Comey to attack the new Republican administration, Democrats have opened up a legal can of worms for the Obama administration. Under sworn questioning, Comey has veered off the topic of President Trump and Russia and revealed several damning incidents in which his predecessor's administration politically interfered in the Hillary Clinton email investigation. And now the Senate will investigate Team Obama for obstruction. By the way, Obama's no longer a sitting president, so he can be charged with obstruction. He can be investigated thoroughly for obstruction. I'm surprised that the Democrats like Hillary Clinton and Obama let Comey live long enough to testify. Or maybe it was just a slip of the tongue on Comey's part. I don't know. Because it didn't seem like it was his answers to these questions that led him to say this were rehearsed. And you would have thought that his attorneys would have put their hands over the microphone and said, don't answer that. Don't answer it like that. This is how you answer. They didn't do that. There was no break. There was no hushing. His attorneys let him speak. I wonder why that is. Did they feel, this is just speculation on my part, did they feel that maybe if Comey let a little bit out of the bag, it was a warning to those who might do him or his family harm, that if they do anything, he's going to let the all the cats out of the bag. Because he let one. Maybe that was a warning shot. I mean, after all, there are a lot of people that we know of that that have reportedly had some damning information, especially in the Clintons, that have ended up, what, dead. Maybe that was a warning shot. Maybe Comey isn't as incompetent as we first originally thought. Maybe Comey is incompetent and dumb like a fox. Now, folks, understand, this guy is immersed in the swamp. He has been inside the D.C. Beltway for years now. So, of course, he's going to know a few tricks. Self-preservation tricks. And by throwing that bone out there, now it's got, even some in the lamestream media can't ignore this. And they're starting to say, well, maybe there's something there. In fact, of course, we've got the Department of State re-looking at Hillary Clinton and trying to figure out if maybe, her security clearances should be revoked. Now, again, I didn't know that she could still have them, not being an elected official. I thought once you were no longer in power or serving the government in any capacity that you don't have it. Evidently, she still has it, security clearance. And I should have asked Agent 0010. I'm remiss in that. I forgot about that. To ask him about security clearance. If you're no longer an employee of the government, when do you lose that security clearance? Because it would seem to me that would be automatic. You're no longer an elected or appointed official. How can you still have access to secret stuff? I mean, really? So now we have that going on. And we have this now being floated around Capitol Hill. Maybe it's actually time to investigate obstruction and appoint a different special counsel to probe the Obama administration. This is definitely not what the Democrats were expecting. Maybe that's why they need more time.
Yes, love hurts. It can hurt emotionally, but more important, it can also hurt you physically. It can hurt you in a way which nobody who owns a hot tub and lives in California can afford to be unaware of. Yes, I'm talking about California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. This painful, incurable disease can make an enjoyable soak in a hot tub with family, friends, and dog into a literally unforgettable experience. If you catch California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, not only will you walk around feeling like you're about to pass a twisted sardine can lid, you'll also smell like a pile of burning tractor tires. So don't jump out of the frying pan and into the hot tub, because if you get California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, it'll really burn your ass.
This has been a public service message brought to you by the Citizens Against CHTRG Foundation. California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. We're not going to take it sitting down.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
603-835-3226. Welcome back. You know, this whole thing with this investigation, the Democrats, I've warned Democrats about this. I've warned them. I said, you're going down a road that you don't want to go to. You're opening up doors that you don't want to open. And this just proves my point when I have said numerous times that the Democrats have to keep this investigation focused on Trump and his administration, one, to delegitimize him, and two, because they went down this road, they have to take the focus off of themselves. They have to keep the focus off of Hillary. They have to keep it off of Obama and his administration. And Comey just tossed that administration and Hillary right into the fire by opening up the suggestion that it was Loretta Lynch who actually obstructed, and not Trump. That it was the Obama administration that did all the spying on people, especially Trump, leading up to the election. We've got all the records of what they've done. And now we've got the wonderful, with such full of integrity Comey saying, well, it was Attorney General Lynch that told me to go easy and not call this an investigation but a matter, and to not, it was Attorney General Lynch that decided not to pursue a criminal indictment on Hillary for her obvious misdeeds that I spelled out, a lot of them, of what she did. And I had to cover for my boss at the time by saying, well, there was no intent. That is not the job of the cop, to determine somebody's intent. Not to mention, the law doesn't make room for intent. There are a lot of people who are in jail who didn't have the intent on doing any damage to the... What about the submariner who took a picture of an outdated sub for his family? He was in jail. I think he's still in jail. There was no intent or malice there. But this whole thing, they keep trying to open up investigations on the Trump side in order to keep covering for themselves. Folks, there are a lot of people that if the Trump investigations were just to stop and go away, especially now, the Republicans would be highly remiss in their duty if they did not pursue at least some of them. I mean, if you're going to go after Trump and his administration after all the, and I keep hearing people saying, well, that we've got this evidence. But those who know, like Dianne Feinstein, they keep, when asked, well, is there any? No, we don't have any evidence. Is there any evidence of collusion? No, there's no evidence of collusion. Is there any evidence of obstruction? No, there's no evidence of obstruction. Is there any evidence of Trump being tied to this? No, there's no evidence of Trump being tied to this. Was Trump under investigation for this? No, Trump was never under investigation for this. There was nothing there. But they've got to keep it going, not because they want to somehow try to get Trump impeached, but simply because they're covering this, the CYA big time on Capitol Hill. They've got to protect Obama, what little is left of his legacy. They've got to protect Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton because of what they have done. And some of them are probably tied very closely, and they're protecting themselves. This is not a stretch, folks. All you got to do is just listen to what they say, read what they've written, and you know what I'm saying is absolutely 100% truthful and right. These people are just now trying to cover their own tracks. This could get really, you want to talk about muckety-muck swamp? This is really, really deep stuff, folks.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
Bring the rain.
Welcome back. You know, one of the things that people, there's a low unemployment rate out there right now, and it seems to be going lower, even with the opening of a new reopening of a coal mine in Pennsylvania, where I think they were going to hire 70 people out of 400 applicants, but they do expect as time goes by to expand. But if you're in the meantime, if you're waiting, and you have a car, 4-door car, and you don't want to drive cross country like you would with Quality Drive Away, then just drive locally. Uber is a fantastic way to do that. Uber is still a great way to earn extra income, or if you decide to jump into it full time, you can even earn full-time income. There are thousands of people across this country right now that are earning great part-time and full-time income driving with Uber. And if you've heard recently, to put to rest a lot of the negative press that Uber has had, there has been some changes at the top, and they're changing their CEOs, or their CEO. And already there has been a change at the driver level that is going to increase driver income. So now is the perfect time to jump on board Uber. Sure, the end game for all these ride-sharing companies is to, and probably any of these driving companies, is to eventually have autonomous vehicles that can drive people around and vehicles around without the need of a driver. But until then, that's still some maybe 5 to 10 years down the road. In the meantime, if you need extra income today, Uber is a great way to do it. I highly recommend it, but I also recommend that you get all the details first. Learn everything you can before you jump into it. There are some people that actually jump into this going full guns, and they actually buy a vehicle or lease a vehicle just to drive for Uber. And obviously, they're only doing that if they were able to meet the obligation of that new loan or lease, as well as make a decent income. And there are some Uber drivers even today that are still making 6 figures a year. But if you don't need that, if you just need a couple of extra $100 a week, anytime you want to turn on the app, you turn it on and you drive. When you're done driving, you turn it off. Nobody's hounding you on a schedule. You could switch it up. Work one Friday night and take the next Friday night off if you want. Nobody's going to pressure you to drive. You set your own schedule. The app is always available for you 24/7, 365. Or in the case of a leap year, 366. But get the details. RodEccles.net/Uber. Hit the Uber button. Get the Uber information. And they do, in some communities, they still have driver bonuses for signing up. And if you complete a number of drives, I think it's 20 rides, you can be eligible for bonuses up to $500 just for signing up and starting to drive. Need some extra cash? Do that. And then quit if you want. But I'm betting that once you get the Uber bug and you drive, you're going to find it to be too much fun and the money too easy to earn to quit. RodEccles.net/store. Hit the Uber button, and you'll get all the information that you need. Now it has come to that time of the program where we present to you Future Shock. Yes, this today in Future Shock, we have something that I mentioned not too long ago about printing. Well, evidently, I was wondering how people were going to monetize all this print-on-demand stuff. And because evidently, at some point you're going to be able to print your own stuff, buy your own 3D printer and print anything that you need. Well, you're not going to have to go out there and invest in an expensive 3D printer if this company gets off the ground. It's Print the Future. Yes, there is a company that is now soliciting investors. And basically it is called Print the Future, soliciting investors. What they plan to do is open up print-on-demand stores, where you'll be able to go into a print-on-demand store and order whatever it is that you need or want 3D printed in various printing inks, if you will. If you need something in plastic, you'll be able to get it in plastic. If you need something that is, I'm not sure what they call it. It's like a liquid metal. It's tougher than plastic. Then you can get that. Have your item printed. So if you need a part, eventually, basically, what you're going to have is if you need a part for your car, instead of going to one of the auto dealerships or auto parts stores, you just walk into a 3D print shop, print store, and say, I need this particular part. You don't have to worry about if it's in stock. You don't have to wait for them to order it if it's out of stock and wait for it to come in. You need your car fixed now. So you're going to walk in there and say, okay, I need this. And they'll say, okay, it'll be a couple hours. Come back and we'll have the part ready for you. They're actually going to open up print-on-demand 3D printing stores. That is the goal of this. And they're in the investor stage right now. You can actually invest in this, and it's only $10. Now, I'm not getting any money for this. Let me put that out front. I just came across this in my search for futuristic stuff, the future today, Future Shock, and this is one of the things that I've come across. And for $10 per share, you can be a part of this company. Now, it takes a $500 minimum, so they say on their site, which is printthefuture.today. It takes a $500 minimum, but a lot of people can afford that if you want to be a part of the future. Now, I don't know much else about this company, but it is all there at printthefuture.today. Which is really confusing because now we have all these wonderful different dots. Before it was pretty simple. You had .com, .co, .org. Now we got .anything. Be .tv, the name of your company. Did you realize you could do that? You could have your own domain. Not just your domain name, but your own domain. Like, for instance, for me, it could be Rodney.Eccles. You can do that now. So I guess what you'd have to do is you have to go to GoDaddy or some place to get what I'm sure it's probably not cheap, but all of the internet's about to change. We're on the verge of something very, very spectacular here. I told you that, as I said before, it's a brave new world. So the replacement for Sears and Walmart is Print the Future stores, where I'm sure they'll just have a bank. Like, remember the what Kinko's, I think it used to be called. You'd walk and they'd have a bank of copy machines and they had a bank of computers when everybody didn't have a computer at home. And you'd go in there and you'd print whatever you needed. You copy whatever you wanted without having to go to a desk and say, "Can you copy this for me, please?" And they changed the whole genre of that type of industry, of office services. You didn't have to have an expensive copier in your house. You just went to Kinko's or if you needed it printed, then you'd be able to just take whatever you made. You could make your document on rent their computer for an hour, make your document, take it over to their print counter and say, "Print this up, please," at low cost. It was amazingly cheap. Well, now comes Print the Future stores that are going to do to 3D printing, evidently, what Kinko's did for office services. Will that be an additional pressure on brick and mortar stores of all kinds, including Amazon? Will it be a pressure on virtual stores like Amazon? You better believe it. I'm just waiting for them. They'll get to the point where they can print you furniture. Think about that, folks. And they go through a whole list of things that they're going to be able to print. 3D print. Amazing stuff. And you can get in on the ground floor. And I know some people are going to ask, are you going to invest in it, Rod? I'm to be honest, I'm looking at it. I don't know if I probably won't. I'll probably be one of those idiots, in the future that if I would have just bought that stock in Walmart for $10, I'd be a multi-millionaire by now. This might be one of those things. It may not be this company, but it will be a company out there that takes this on and does it. Coming to a location near you, a future store is a print-on-demand store. And that's this week's edition of Future Shock. It's amazing stuff out there, folks. It really is. This stuff that is coming across, that is futuristic. It's amazing how fast the future becomes today, nowadays. It really is. And it may be a little hard to keep up with this stuff because it is evolving so fast. Everything that we once knew. If you are a Gen Xer or a baby boomer, you know of a time when every house didn't even have a VCR. You know of a time when your family probably only had one TV, not multiple. Well, and this is what our base is. We know this. Think of all the Peanuts specials. The Charlie Brown and crew, they didn't have home video games to play. If you ever want to take a look at what life was like before the 80s, that's it. We didn't have all that stuff. And to think that within our lifetime, we have gone from, television that wasn't even on 24/7. They actually had to sign off and sign on every day. You'd wake up in the middle of the night, there was nothing on because all you got was a screen that went beep for hours. And so I remember stuff like that. And if you're a millennial, you probably don't know anything about that kind of stuff because by the time that you guys were born, there was drastic changes that came. And then we got CNN and all those others and headline news and all that kind of stuff started to come in. And Fox came in the 80s. So all that stuff started to come about and change everything that we knew previous to that. Well, now we're going through this new paradigm shift that's changing everything that we ever possibly knew. It's a different world. New York Post, financier found dead after gay bondage hookup went bad, says cops. Yes, a Brooklyn financier was found naked and dead in his Dumbo pad after, Dumbo is a part of Brooklyn, by the way, near the Brooklyn Bridge, I think it is. It's a neighborhood that's near the Brooklyn Bridge, and it's all the rage right now. That's an up-and-coming neighborhood. Prices are going through the roof for flats and pads and apartments and everything else over there. So he was found dead in his trendy Dumbo pad after a gay bondage hookup went awry, so say police sources. Neil R. Smith, 57, CEO of the investment firm Infraxis, INRFACCESS, was discovered lying on his back in bed with a towel stuffed in his mouth and a pillow over his face inside his apartment. He was found around 1:45 on Monday, police say. And they have information that he was hooking up. And it was a bondage hookup, or who knows? Maybe it was an assassination. Investigation continues. They're still searching for the partner who absconded. They have video of him entering and video of him leaving the apartment complex or the condo complex. So they're in search for this gentleman to find out exactly what went wrong. Be careful with your bondage. Why do people do that with strangers of all? I mean, stupidity?
What if I told you that you could lose weight simply by drinking coffee? Change your coffee, change your life. Our gourmet estate-grown coffee is infused with powerful herbs that help you melt fat and keep you from feeling hungry for 6+ hours. Get results or your money back. Order yours today at skinnycoffeeshop.com. That's skinnycoffeeshop.com. Tea and water also available. skinnycoffeeshop.com.
Have a legal problem and need some serious legal advice? Then you're listening to the wrong podcast.
Any facts we say here are probably wrong, and any analysis of the law should not be followed.
There you go. Reasonable men are here to take a twisted look at the law.
Stack your hayride.
Learn in hand. Best name in law school.
Check us out on iTunes, reasonablemen.com, or on your favorite podcast app.
Reasonable men are back.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Democrats are split. In fact, some Democrats in the ranks are splitting away from this Russia stuff, this Russia narrative stuff, because of the health care debate that's coming up and Obamacare. But the Democratic leadership is rebuffing the skeptics, saying that we will keep talking about Russia. And now they are complaining that the Republicans are locking them out of the health care overhaul debate. Well, isn't that what they did to Republicans when they passed the damn thing in the first place? Yes, it is. And now they're whining and complaining that they're being locked out of this, which they're not. You know, McConnell said, no, we're just going to take it to the floor. We're going to add amendments until we can't add another amendment. We're just going to keep going. We're going to write the legislation, basically, is what he's saying, on the floor. I don't know how that's locking them out, but this is what they're complaining about. And some of the rank and file is saying, look, we're focusing too much on this Russia stuff. We need to focus on the health care because the Republicans are going to slip something through on us. And the Democratic leadership is saying, we're going to keep talking about Russia. I told you, folks, it's simply because they have to keep talking about it because some of them are knee deep or neck deep in the swamp when it comes to this thing. They can't drop it. They're very political, and maybe even their freedom from jail depends on them keep talking about it. You know how you end this Russian investigation? You know how you put this to bed, and so that Trump can move on and actually go after real criminals, maybe even from the Obama administration? You know how you do this? In 2018. Those who are Democrats are up for re-election. You don't re-elect them, especially the Democratic leadership. You don't re-elect them. You take that power away from them, and then you will start to see movement. See, all politics is local. Tip O'Neill was correct when he said that. There's only so much Donald J. Trump as president can do. That's why we have 3 branches of government. It takes the legislative branch to get involved as well. The way that you help Trump move his agenda forward is you get rid of the mamby-pamby Republicans and you get rid of the Democrats. You get rid of the Democratic leadership, you get rid of some of their members at least, and you will start to see movement. You will see an end to this so-called Russian collusion crap, and you will start to see real investigations for real crimes come about. Really. By the way, finally today, speaking of the Georgia election, evidently there is a complaint about the Ossoff campaign that has come forward just days before the election, that the Ossoff campaign actually barred the Free Beacon and a couple of other conservative outlets from covering his campaign in the waning days. Why would you bar somebody from? He needed all the coverage he could possibly get, and yet they were barring some conservative outlets from covering the campaign. They didn't allow them in or invite them in, and yet they were complaining that the president doesn't call on CNN in his press conferences. That he even went to a Russian publication over CNN, and yet here they are, Democrats, barring somebody. A publication, news outlet, from covering him. See, I always say they're pointing that finger at us, but 3 fingers are pointing back at them because that's exactly what they're doing. Well, we're out of time for today. We'll be back tomorrow in 21 hours. Don't forget, tomorrow is Military Thursday, Military Tribute Thursday. Until then, have a wonderful Wednesday hump day afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. I'm out.
Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A shameless politician always plays her cards right. Got a crew for the fight on the airwaves. Left dogs in the press, keep the mouths tight. Cause a Clinton never needs to explain what, why it is what they done or with who. A real Clinton knows that they're entitled, and you don't get to know what they do.
What difference does it make?
For a Clinton, what's loaded in some fat apple file? A Clinton plays the victim for promotion. A Clinton kills it off with a smile. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A server full of secrets ain't no thing. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Nothing ever hits with the sting.